wrestling in the Kohl Center. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I knew that, and just a little bit of rigmarole at the weigh-in, and we got that figured out yesterday, and so wherever we go, we go. Could be a opportunity for a big crowd, and we'll see. But either way, we got to get ready, and they got a 65-pounder that he might be the #1 ranked guy in America, and that's a weight that we got two options there that need to emerge and see where we're at. And so it's another opportunity against a good wrestler.
Coach, what's it like going up against Barry? Or what kind of relationship do you have with him?
I have a good relationship with Barry. I have a relationship with Barry dating way back, and he used to hand me my lunch a lot, and he taught me a lot of wrestling, and he was one of the icons when I was growing up. Not only was he a great Hawkeye, a 3-time national champion, but also international wrestler. He's a world silver medalist, Olympic silver medalist, and those are the things that my brother and I aspired to. So Barry Davis was our weight class as well. So as far as cutting your teeth with a guy that has already done it or was in the moment doing it, there's a lot of history there that brings back good memories. And I remember in 1988, I was a true freshman, and I went home and I was bored after about 2.5 days, and so it must have been coincidence, but he said, "Hey, I need guys in Iowa City. Can you come back?" And I didn't have a vehicle at the time, but I giddy upped. I got on a horse and made my way down to Iowa City from Sheldon, and on horseback. That's not true, but and got in with the training with Barry because he was in the '88 Olympics. And I remember riding a bike with him while he ran and running stairs with him. And at that point, that was probably the biggest jump that my wrestling took. It wasn't during the structured workouts. It was during that time period where I trained side by side with the bad Barry Davis.
You guys have 6 Big Ten dual meets this month. How do you guys kind of respond now that you're kind of in the heart of Big Ten dual meet season?
First of all, Big Ten duels are important for seeding. That's important for seeding. We emphasize that. Our guys are aware of that. They know that it has postseason ramifications. That's important. Other than that, it's just like I say about everything else. It's the next event on the calendar. You get ready to go. We have one dual meet this weekend. That's what you're gearing for, and it's important. I mean, 165, 133, 74, they probably feel pretty good about more than I see on paper. I mean, it's kind of like the Northwestern duel. We're anxious to see every one of our guys every time they go out and compete, because a record or a ranking or how a guy's been doing in the past means nothing. And you can't allow yourself to get ambushed. And that's why we look forward to these events, whether it's a guy that's ranked 17th, a guy that's ranked 31st, or a guy that's the #1 guy in America. I mean, go out and compete, and that's one of the messages that Terry's been emphasizing to a couple of our guys, and then also to the team, but more directed at a couple of guys where a guy like Edwin Cooper, you can't wrestle different because it's Isaiah Martinez. You have to wrestle the same with who you're competing against. And if those guys can grow up and take ownership of that, I think we can do pretty well with the guys that are the question marks in our lineup. But if they continue to wrestle differently, tell you what, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. You know what? It's hard enough. And so make it easier on yourself by, compete with confidence. I mean, the way Edwin Cooper went out against Northwestern, he needs to go out and wrestle the same way no matter who it is. And that doesn't mean that the result's going to be the same, but it does mean that you're going to give yourself the best chance. And then that's how you start to learn how to win big matches in big settings. Our poster says always on the big stage. Well, as an individual, you can't pick what stage you want to be on either, or your opponent. You got to take what comes up. And if we're always on the big stage, then we need to start, believing that at every weight class. That's important. Maturity.
How far?
The undefeated streak keeps going for you. We just talk about how you're feeling. Everything's going right now.
I'm feeling pretty good. I feel like, especially compared to the last years, I feel like I'm starting off better, scoring more points, which that's big, and just kind of keep building off of that. Just trying to score early in the first periods and then keep scoring, getting those takedowns, trying to get a couple more turns on top, though.
What are some of the main things you took away from last weekend's performances?
I scored pretty good points, but some big things that I need to do is hit my finishers a little harder. There's a couple finishes that just kind of he got whizzers in or stuff like that. I just need to kind of close the door a little quicker, and then on top, making sure I'm riding out at the end of periods and not letting him escape. Made a couple mistakes on there too.
Try to beat your opponent in submission almost. Is that your idea of dominance?
Yeah. That's kind of definition of dominance right there. I mean, making the guy quit. That's the goal out every single time, whether it's these lesser teams or no disrespect to them, or the best teams in the country. We can make the best teams quit too. We just got to wrestle them the same way we do these teams that we have been.
Does that happen a lot at this level? When you say quit here.
Okay. So, just talking about you're getting on a pretty good roll again. Just how are you feeling? How's everything, good improvement going for you?
I'm feeling good. I've had some, decent success early in the year. I mean, there's still a lot of season left to go. We're in the second half, and a lot of dual meets now, and some big tournaments coming up at the end. So, just focus on improving every day in the room, and keep going out and winning.
How do you hold up your first year in the varsity lineup, so to say?
I think I'm doing all right. There's improvement, and there still needs to be improvement. So, that's just my focus when I'm in here is keep improving.
You get 6 duels this month.